Well, that one died right in a bad spot. So, when you put this ugly problem into Desmos, it gives you two answers. It gives you an answer at -1 and it gives you an answer at +3. Throw the -1 away. Again, distance can't be negative. All right, or in this case, it's a right triangle, so distance isn't negative. So we keep the +3. Now it wants all three sides. So the first side is 3, and it says 3 consecutive. So then 4 and 5. So if it had asked for even or odd, then this would have been a 2, and this would have been a 4, and you still would have put it in Desmos. Now, number next. The length of a rectangle. Rectangle. 9 inches more. More means plus 9. 3 times the width. So we're going to call the width X because Desmos hates W. 3 times that. So 3X. Now, it says the area is the length times the width, and that is 264. So, in Desmos, you're going to put X parenthesis 3X plus 9 equals 264. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. So X parenthesis equals 264, and that was 3x plus 9. And it gives us two answers, -11, +8. Throw away the negative. So x equals +8. Now, it wants the length and the width. The width is 8. Now what we have to do is find the length. So 3 times 8 plus 9. So in Desmos or with your calculator, either one, 3 times 8. So Mr. Goodbuddy tells us this is 33. So I think we are half done with 2.4. Yay! The base of a triangle is 8 inches more. Now it doesn't tell us what kind of a triangle. So we just have to draw some kind of a triangle. the base is 8 inches more. So plus 8, 3 times the height. Why each one of them was 3 times, I don't know. So h, our height, h, is x. Because Desmos hates h. It's prejudice. I'm just saying. It likes x and only x. Occasionally, it'll accept y if you've got x there. But otherwise, no. Now, the formula for area, because this says area. Area is base times height divided by 2. That's my favorite way to write my formula. I know it's 1/2 base height, but I've had so many people do the formula wrong that I rewrote the formula. So now I've got a nicer formula. So 40 equals, and I can put height first because it's just an x, and then 3x plus 8 all over 2. Put this in Desmos just as is. So 40 equals fraction bar x parenthesis, go down and put a 2, and now fill in the parenthesis. 3x plus 8 gives me 2 answers. Negative 6.6 repeated forever, and positive 4. Throw the negative away. Now, that x is your base, your height. So now I put 4 in here. And Mr. Goodbuddy tells me this is 20. Number next is not a user-friendly problem. I'm just telling you. We may end up with 3 videos for this one because this one's kind of a big fat hairy deal. Are you ready? Simple interest formula is I equals PRT. A woman has a total of $11,000 to invest. She invests part of it in an account for 6% and part of it in another account for 10%. Oh crap. That means I got 2 accounts. That sucks. Oh, this is per year. So, there is one nice thing about this. If T is 1, T can be ignored. So I can clean it up just a tiny, tiny bit. All right? Now, P1 is always going to be X. P2 is always going to be your total minus X. Guess what? That's your total. Then R1, now your percent, your rate, has to be as a decimal. So when I take 6 divided by 100, that gives me 0.06. 10% divided by 100, as a decimal gives me 0.1. Now, this is I. Now, I set it up in this formula setup. I, which is your interest amount, is equal to your rate times your principal for the first account, and I tend to like the number and then the X. Then there's a plus, your number, then you got to put a parenthesis because your total here is 11,000. So you've got more than one thing here, so you have to put a parenthesis. Now you're going to have two of these. One, you have to write this formula as part A. And then you've got to write your answers. And then on the second one, you just write your answers. Now, put this in Desmos. And you may have to search for it. Because it could be in the thousands, since that's, 11,000. 0.06x plus 0.1 parenthesis 11,000 minus x, close it. So I'm making the screen show bigger numbers, and I'm scrolling to the right. I'm already at almost 5,000 and I'm not there yet. Okay. Yay, I found it. It's 7,000. Yikes. So X, which is P1, principal 1, is 7,000. Ooh. 7,000. So P2 is 11,000 minus what I found. So 11,000 minus 7,000 so 4,000. Remember, you're going to have two of these. On one of them, you find these two answers. And on one of them, you have to do this and then find the two answers. Two cyclists leave from an intersection at the same time. One travels due north. So literally what you do is you draw a dot north at 18 miles an hour. In other words, 18x. The other is going east at 24 miles an hour. So 24x. Now, whenever they get 180 miles apart, so this is a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem again. So now I take this whole thing squared plus this whole thing squared equals that squared on Desmos. So parenthesis shift 6 square plus parentheses shift 6 square equal 180 shift 6 square. Now fill in 18x, fill in the other 24x. Oh, I gotta hit home. Now that gives me two answers. It gives me -6 and +6. Remember, time is not negative until you get to chemistry. Distance and time in chemistry is negative in certain situations. But for us, we're only dealing with the positives. So that's it. So that one's quick and easy. I like that one. Nice and dirty. Number 9, not user friendly. So let's go to number 10. That one's quick and dirty. So, a water tank can be filled with an inlet pipe in 9 hours. It takes twice as long for an outlet pipe to empty that same tank. How long will it take to fill the tank if both pipes are wide open? Well, this is called the shared work problem. Okay? It's 1 over the first plus 1 over the second equals 1 over the total, or 1 over the job. Okay. So, The first is 9 hours.